Yes, Hilary. Nigel here. Hello, Chuckabutties. Responding to requests for advice from my friends in equity. And Hilary, a tricky one this time, isn't it? Yes, hashtag equity save our staff. Hashtag equity save our staff. Now this, for me, looking at things with a different perspective, flags up this particular favourite piece of artwork of mine. The Family by L.S. Lowry. The Family, hanging in Cecil Court, always to remind me of the show business family, unique within our profession. And this particular issue, Equity Save Our Staff, is really a family matter. A family matter because a long-serving member of the equity staff, well, some members in Scotland believe they've been treated unfairly. Now, a long-serving member of the equity staff, over the years, has earned the right to be a member of the equity family. And that is a special consideration. Special consideration. And this issue has arisen because over the years, there's been two types of equity activists. One type puts the professional interests of members first. So they think about the show business family, and that motivates them to do other things like social, welfare, and even political, but their roots are the show business family. The other type of activist is the one who puts political interests first and use the trade union movement and, things like the cause of labour is the hope of the world. So politics is their motivation. So suddenly thinking about family is not easy for them. Not easy for them. And currently I believe it's fair to say that equity for some years has been looked after by the sort of political members, the activists, that particular group, those motivated by politics. So when a family issue arises, well, it is difficult for them. It is difficult for them. Now, some have seen this as an issue about Scotland or Ireland. Well, really, in terms of family, it isn't. Because family, it wouldn't matter if it was a few members in Wales, a few members in England, or Ireland, or Scotland where it is now. If family is not looked after, then of course the members, well, quite rightly, will be very upset. But you see, times have changed. Times have changed because originally, again, equity controlled all the information going to members. It wasn't like Keir Starmer says something one day that's in all the papers and Boris Johnson says something that's in all the papers. No, the Equity Council have always been able to control that their opinion is put forward to the members. So for the members to get the message across becomes difficult. But not anymore. Hashtag social media means the members, if they want to get their message across, well, have a go at social media. Indeed, this particular issue, Andy Clark performing as the Exclaimers, well, it's got its own theme tune. It's got its own theme tune. Have a look at it on YouTube. But you see, again, hashtag and social media has its own problems. Because a tweet from the General Secretary gains as much importance as a tweet from one person that suddenly starts trending with a hashtag. Suddenly starts trending with a hashtag because that hashtag collects everything together. And social media is not a good place to have a debate because the threads get all complicated. And if you look at Nigel Cecil's video, my video 15, you'll see I explain why the problem is not the General Secretaries. The buck stops with the council. The buck stops with the council. So when people get all irate and say, oh, the General Secretary has to resign, that's not the problem. The problem is the council because the buck stops with them. So where do we go from there? Well, let's just think about this, you see. The president of Equity is a Scottish actress. Now, I'm allowed to say actress, yes, because it's on their Twitter account, yes. Well, you'd have thought if things were happening, they would have been looking over the General Secretary's shoulder because the president is from a long line, traditional line of variety artists. So all this thing going on, you say, no, step back, and think of family, because things that appear on social media, especially when Equity put the detail of alleged abuse into the public domain, I mean, how do we know, or how do members know that that abuse well, wasn't from one member, several members, or from a troll? It could be from a troll who's got nothing to do with Equity, because again, social media wind everybody up. So everybody I know in show business would abhor abuse. It should not happen. But the idea it's now in the public domain brings the whole of Equity almost into disrepute. So we really need to step back. We really need to step back. I, as an entrepreneur, and I think Equity members, and what we should be saying, my advice is to the Equity Council, think of family. Suddenly for once put politics aside and think of the Equity family. And some members in Scotland, I understand, have actually resigned. Well, that's so sad, because it's out of the loop. And I would be saying, thinking family, listen, could you set your resignations aside for a while? So as family, we can have a confidential discussion to see if we can unite to move forward together. So my advice then in this particular issue is try and calm things down, and remember the buck stops with the council, and let's have a family conference, a confidential family conference, so we can all unite together, because in the situation of COVID-19, well, we need that family. We need to put show business family first so we can help each other. So my call, show business family first, and let the buck stop with the council so they can look after the show business family.